The same concept that you take when you hop on that stage to win over people who don't know who you are is the same thing that I'm doing and any other digital advertiser does online, except for guess what? Instead of it just being 8 minutes and one location for one night, I can be all over the fucking world or whatever, and it's playing 24/7. Like, you know what I'm saying?
What up, y'all? It's your boy Ignit. Welcome back to the How to Sell Dope podcast. This one right here is very, very special. They all are special, but this one right here is very, very special. I think you can get a lot of info from this. I sit down with Dre Lloyd from New Jersey. He's also an up-and-coming artist. I stumbled across his music because he ran an ad, which made me reach out to him to pick his brain about marketing his music, and he dropped hella gems. Definitely peep this. We actually talked for so long that I had to split this podcast up into 2 episodes. So this is episode 1. Enjoy, drop a comment, let us know what you think about it below. All right, so welcome back to whatever episode of the How to Sell Dope podcast this is. It's definitely the next one. I have a very special guest in the building virtually. I am someone, and if you know me, you know that I advocate for marketing. I think a lot of artists kind of miss their beat when they don't market themselves. Like I think it's become for whatever reason it's looked at as a negative when it really shouldn't be. But anyhow, my guest today is Dre Lloyd, all the way from New Jersey. What's up, man? How you feeling?
What's good, man? I'm feeling good, man. How's everything going for you?
Everything's good, man. Everything's good.
All right.
So just to kind of give you the gist of the podcast,
Sure.
What this is an attempt to educate people. It's How to Sell Dope podcast. The dope is your talent. As a studio engineer, I see people come in and they make some mistakes. At least things that I see is to be a mistake. I've been an artist for a long time. Before I started the studio, I rapped, I made beats. Matter of fact, I've been doing this shit since Cash Money was taking over for the 99 to 2000. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so you're a dub plus.
Yeah, man. So it's like, I understand where I went wrong with some of the things that I didn't even consider. And this is a way that I could try to give some people some, just some seeds to help grow their business. Cause I think the business part is missing from a lot of artists. They don't understand that. And, just to give you a little background about myself, like I said, I've been doing this for a very long time. I produce, I engineer. I can have some bars here and there,
Okay. All right.
But we're gonna talk a lot about marketing, and that's how I kind of got this business started. And once I started the business, I started looking at like my artistry and what I could have did a lot differently. Like paid ads aren't a negative thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like if you really look at it, like every place that you've ever spent $1, whether it's Target, Walmart, you know what Target has. You know that you want to go get toilet paper, but they still push an ad in case you don't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's I think that part is very important. So I'll stop talking about myself for now, and I'll hand the microphone over to you. So tell people about who you are, where you are, and what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah. So for all those who don't know, which I'm pretty sure is many of you out there, I go by the name Dre Lloyd. I'm an artist, out here in New Jersey. Region doesn't really, really matter too much to me. And I'm not even like the type of person or whatever anymore, I should say. I'm not the type of person anymore that's like, putting, where I'm from, before like the artistry. Like, what I'm saying? I don't really want to, restrict myself to my state or like the specific region in my state or whatever. But I am located, in New Jersey. I've been doing music now for going on 14 years, maybe 15 years or something like that. Pretty much, I've been, up and down like the East Coast, like Midwest, down south or whatever, even, out west as well, California, travel outside of the country or whatever, I'm saying, going through my journey, man, just trying to, make this music thing happen, But, outside of that, as a person, really what you get in my music is like really who I am in real life. Like, sometimes you might get, something that's like, here's something that's socially conscious, from me, to where I'm talking about like certain things that's going on in the country and stuff like that or across the world, because, I would like to consider myself somebody who's, pretty, well-read. I do definitely, read and take pride in educating myself. But, outside of that, I'm inspired by life, man. So it's like, that's what really, drives my my creative side, I would say, to the music, but that's pretty much me in a nutshell for the most part.
Dope. Are you affiliated with an indie label at all, or?
Nah. I mean, besides my own, it's just myself, because not that I could go into the why, like if you want, but nah, I'm not, it's just myself as of right now, the people who I have around me,
Yeah, let's go into the why. You said, and well, you know what? Yeah, let's go into the why, and then I'm also going to follow that up with something that you just said about the people that you have around you. But the why. Let's start with that.
Yeah, no problem. So basically, the why. The why is, as of right now, it's like, so like with someone like myself, no matter. Let me just say this: I always tell people the difference between myself and people like me and the majority of other artists, whether they're R&B rappers, whatever the case may be, entertainers, I guess, is that, anytime that I perform live, right, the best time that I have or the part that I enjoy the most about performing, right, is when I actually walk off stage. And this is what I mean by that. Like, I mean that I really take pride in, when I get off stage and stuff like that, and I'm walking through the crowd and people who was, in the audience or whatever, got a chance to see me and listen to what it is that I had to say while I was up on stage, getting like the genuine feedback, like, yo, listen, bro, like, I really love like what I heard, man. Like, yo, man, like you killed that shit. And it's not like, like people who are just a part of the entourage who's just trying to gas me up. And like, I'm talking from people from different like walks of life. Like, black guys, white guys, for me, that's there. Like, I had dudes like, oh man, let me buy you a drink, man. Like, yo, man, where you, really genuinely wanting to talk to me, because that's what means the most to me. Me going through like the business side of it and dealing with, the politics and stuff like that and trying to navigate through, the industry, if you will, it's only, I'm only able to do that because I definitely have like a passion for creating, like, you know what I'm saying? So when it comes time for me to align myself with other people, to get back to your question, partnering with other indie labels and stuff like that, I really could care less, who you say that and what you say that you have, because if you're not going to handle me like the right way, like if I'm going to take off some of these hats and, put it on some other people or whatever, who's supposed to be like, helping manage me or has like some type of control over my career, like in the future, then, I don't really want to deal with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if we're just doing business to a certain degree, like to where it's like, okay, even though I might.
Ooh, you're breaking up. You're breaking up right now. Yo. Hopefully we ain't lose him.
We'll be doing business with you and stuff like that. Control over like what's happening or whatever. For somebody that really works with seem like more of the drive and the passion that you don't believe.
Okay, I kind of need you to rewind that a little bit. You were saying about like taking off hats, and if you're going to do that, and then you're getting into explaining like what you need from someone to be able to do that, and then I think you might have hit a dead spot.
Okay. Yeah. Am I good now?
Yeah, you good.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, what I was saying was, make a long point shorter, is that if you're gonna really like be a part of my journey from the beginning, on up, you know, my circle has to share the same morals and values. We all have to be doing it for the same reason. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's bigger than the money. It's bigger than just, you know, me just being, you know, famous and stuff like that or whatever. I don't really care about that necessarily. Like, you know what I mean? Because if your whole decisions that you make in the music industry, whether it's on my behalf or not, is based off of a quick dollar, then that's gonna, like, I feel like it's not gonna, like, align with how I'm moving, because you're gonna be so busy worried about trying to get paid. You know, I'm thinking about things like, you know, in the long run, like, you know, maybe like a couple of years down the line, you know what I mean? So I just hadn't found like the right, you know, the right indie label yet, you know what I mean? So because of that reason.
I think what you said is valuable, especially when you start talking about when you want to feel comfortable taking off hats, like being comfortable with taking off some of the hats and delegating some of your business, because as an artist, you are a business. And that's the thing that I be trying to tell people, like, you are a business. You are responsible for putting yourself out there. And I do believe you should think about making money. You know, if you're doing it, you should you should definitely be trying to monetize. So I think when you get into that mindset, you got to market yourself. You have to find people who are willing to spend money on you, whether their money is time streaming your stuff or their money is physical currency that they're spending on your merch or buying tickets. You have to keep putting yourself out there so you can get that. And then once you get those relationships and you get those people, you should find a way to collect their information so you can let them know the next time that you have the next offer. That's just my personal belief. And I think it's depending on what type of artist you are, it's your responsibility to figure out what that looks like and actually have systems in place so you can take hats off and hire someone to do some stuff, but you can show them, like, this is how I do it. This is the way I want you to do this. And if, like you said, like if you are presented with a label, they should be able to pick up. And this is my mind. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I don't know that I'm trying to learn. Sure. You know, I've learned a lot being a producer. I've learned a lot being an engineer, not even being a producer. But now that I'm in this position and I want to myself become more of a label, or, you know what I'm saying, just work with artists that I feel like are like-minded and push them like independently with our own ideas. I look at things differently, and that's some of the knowledge that I'm trying to seek. So I think if anybody were to, you know, let's say down the road, we put out a few singles and they become hot and there's an indie label that wants to work with us, I would like to know that they're going to add to the fuel that we already started, the fire that we've already started. I don't want them to completely change up what we're doing because they feel like they know more. I would want them to be more of a partner than an owner, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, not for sure.
In that sense. So I definitely agree with you on that. So okay, let's just dive a little deeper then. Sure. I came across your song. You know what? I damn near forget. It's the Kevin Samuel story, right?
Kevin Samuel's moment, yeah.
Moment. Okay, Kevin Samuel's moment. And this is why marketing is important. This is Christmas Eve, I believe. It was Christmas Eve. I was getting ready to do a session with someone. A lot of artists come in the studio and they'll find, like, they'll have YouTube beats that they want to rap over. They want to try them out first. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them will go on and buy the lease or the exclusive if they like the way the song turned out. So someone had sent me a link to a beat and I was getting ready to download the beat for them before the session. And then your song popped up, and it spoke to me in that moment because I was still kind of going through a breakup, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you were saying a lot of shit that just hit, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, this nigga spitting, but I also respect that. It's not as often that when I go to download these beats that I actually see an artist's music. A lot of times I'll see a producer trying to, you know, bash YouTube beats. Like, I'd be like, "Are you tired of buying YouTube beats? Blah blah blah." You know what I'm saying? Or come to my site or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's that's normally how that goes. So
what was, have you always been doing this with your music? And what was the moment that you decided that you were going to do that with this particular video?
Okay. So the thing is that first and foremost, always give credit where credit is due. Shout out to all those to all those who don't know. It's a guy named Jens the Guru, right? Jens the Guru. You can check him out.
I follow him on IG. He's definitely on my radar.
Okay. Right. So he taught me. He's my teacher. Okay. So the thing is, shout out to him and everybody and, the Viral Tribe family. That's, the group of students, I'm one of his students amongst, many others and stuff like that. We all are under, we're under his tutelage or whatever. And still to this day, it's kind of like to the point where, we're bouncing ideas off of each other now. But at the end of the day, even amongst us, like us students, whatever might be bouncing ideas, I know I do. There's a couple people in the class that, I talk to who, I bounce ideas off of, like, hey, yo, listen, what do you think about this? Whatever. But as far as myself, I didn't start doing it because what happened was I was trying to reach out to Jens to do this is during COVID. See, because now, listen, I got to say all this for a reason. Because like I said, I've been doing this now or trying to go after it for like 14 years. Well, I've been making music for like 14, 15 years or whatever. And throughout that time, I was like doing things that I guess during the time that I started, you actually had to do, like showcases, trying to open up for people, trying to meet people in person, shake people's hands, like in person or whatever, build relationships with people like in person or whatever, so I can, like, yo, listen, I just got done working with this person and that person, or whatever, and just playing it like that. Like, okay, well, damn, I gotta pay somebody to do PR, like, to get me on these blogs and shit like that, to get me on these, underground, radio stations or some mainstream radio stations, FM stations and stuff like that, right? So throughout that time, everything started to switch from, you having to do those things the old way into what we are used to seeing people do now. And that's over, like, switching everything over into like the digital space, online or whatever, And the thing is that the generation or whatever that you see now is born into like the digital space, like social media, like understanding, like, what analytics are, or having somewhat of an idea of, what digital marketing and advertising is. You feel me? Like coming up with different, strategies or whatever to get people. Like, Like, we started seeing that like with Soulja Boy, like what he was doing with all those, you might not know what the hell LimeWire is. Nigga was on LimeWire. You be downloading, thinking you downloading a Nas album and shit like that. His song and shit popped the fuck up.
Right.
And then it's like, okay, well, damn, this is all right. Like, you know what I mean? So, but this is where you started to see like the transition, like people started getting creative. So long story, trying to make a lot, I got to say this for a reason. So when COVID hit, I was like, damn, I was about to do the same thing I've been was doing. I was about to, go on like a little press run, up in California, work my way on down to, Texas to Atlanta. And I'm on my way back up here to Philly, and because I'm right by Philly, and then New York, and go to Hot 97, do all sorts of crazy stuff, but I'm paying for all of that stuff. You know what I mean? And the whole thing was,
wait, you're paying for all of that out of your pocket?
Yeah, of course. You know what I'm saying? I would hire people, to set those things up. You know what I mean? And set, to go from like Palm Springs, like, LA. I was just looking for different agencies and stuff like that to do that. You know what I'm saying? Some things I built over a course of time just by me, doing what I'm doing, and, the relationships that I've, acquired over, whatever. Some stuff I was paying for, some stuff I wasn't. But long story short, this is what I was going to do. Okay. And so when COVID happened, obviously I couldn't travel. Everything was shut the hell down. Everything closed. So I'm like, man, I got to find another way to do this music thing. So I'm like, well, let me figure out what's going on with this YouTube thing, because I still got to, by this time I had a couple of meetings with labels and stuff like that. And the first thing they always did was like, what's your YouTube looking like? Like, you know what I'm saying? Or what's your Spotify looking like? What's your Instagram like? Straight to social media. And me, unlike probably a lot of other artists now, it's like, we would take a look at these guys, like how people used to look at like SoundCloud rappers and stuff like that. Like, oh man, these dudes they're just popping online or whatever. Like, oh man, you know what I mean? And he's like, you'll discredit that. Like, it's not real. Like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, these guys are just going viral out of nowhere. How is these guys going and getting millions of views out of nowhere? Like, you know what I mean? And I was like, how the hell is this shit happening? I'm posting up stuff on a regular and I'm not getting nothing. Like, I'm like begging people to watch this shit and share it or whatever to get like a couple hundred views. I'm lucky to get like 1,000. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so I came across him, Jens I'm talking about, because I've been seeing him pop up on my timeline. And then I was just looking into what exactly he did. So when I tried to hire him, I'm like, I can't afford this shit. It's just too high. Like, you know what I mean? And
I went through that same process.
Yeah, I couldn't. I couldn't. I was like, I'm looking at the prices. I'm like, what the fuck? I said, I can't afford this. I can't afford this. Like, you know what I'm saying? But then he told me, he was like, yo, listen, I'm emailing him. He's like, yo, listen, I got a class, whatever. So I'm like, all right. It took me a couple of days. And because I still didn't understand it, I honestly was like looking for every reason, like not to like invest that money. Like, because I'm like, man, I don't know about this shit. And I might be able to find this shit out on my own. And then I think he posted up a video to where he was like, listen, anybody can do what I do. Anybody can learn how to market and advertise or whatever the way that I do. But you have to ask yourself this question. Like, you know, are you willing to take the years and lose the money or whatever? Like, you know what I'm saying? By going through trial and error. You know what I'm saying? Or are you just gonna, you know what I'm saying? Or would you rather invest in, you know, learning how to do it on your own? Not really on your own, but through me. And that's basically what I did. So I did that 2020, October, November of 2020, took the course. But throughout that time up until now, I shot a couple videos and had to figure out how to work like someone like for myself or whatever, because everybody who's really like popping is kind of like this new wave shit, like, you know what I'm saying, like the sing auto swag rap type thing or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like, all right, I don't really see a lot of people really like doing it, like, for me, who's like really kind of like rapping, like, you know what I'm saying? So I finally found it out. So what you see working now is a result of me shooting 3 videos prior and spending a couple grand like on the videos and on advertising and stuff like that. This is between the 3 videos and the money I spent trying to find out how to advertise my shit the right way and find like my audience or whatever. That's like another like $6,000 or whatever that I spent.
Wait,
or whatever.
Did you say 6 or 60?
No, 6.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another 6 grand. So, but I figured it out, and it's working. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, that was like taking the class was the best investment that I've made, like, in my music career, period.
And that is the shit that I be talking about, bro. And that's why, you know, when I saw that, I was like, okay, I fuck with the fact that he tried to figure this out, because what you see on this podcast, whether you realize it or not, is there was a connection made with someone from the East Coast. I'm in Chicago. You know what I'm saying? You in Jersey. I had no idea who the hell you were. And I don't know that we were going to cross paths ever if you did not spend money on marketing that song. And then that song caught my ear. Then I'm like, let me follow this dude on Instagram, you know what I'm saying? And shout him out, because I thought it was dope that you had that going on. Cause that's who I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to figure out how to market myself and advertise myself in that same fashion. So paying for ads works, y'all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or even just spending some money to learn, you know, how to market yourself or how to advertise yourself. That shit works. Yeah. And if you don't have the money, then you better have the time, because there is a lot of free information out there too. You can definitely dig through YouTube, dig through these podcasts, you know, the way that I've been doing at least, and you can find some information. But Jens is somebody who has been on my radar, and I did not know that he had a class. I thought you could just, you know, the only way you could work with him is just hiring him. Now, I will look into that class, because I do believe that instead of giving a man a fish, you should teach him how to fish. And I'm constantly trying to learn how to fish for myself. But, you know, and I guess I'll ask you this. What do you think the negative stigma is on like just spending money on advertising markets? I think a lot of artists look at advertising themselves, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, they look at it like in the same aspect or in the same lens as like buying fake followers or something. Like I saw a video you had posted. You were like, something about you got to change your mindset to not think about the people around the corner from you, but the people who are doing what you want to be doing. And you can't be out here talking about 5,000 views and no ad life or some shit you were saying that niggas.
Yeah. No promo shit. That's what they do. Hashtag no promo. Yeah, I can't stand that shit, man. That shit is crazy, man. But let me address that. So basically what you're saying is that, like, all right, so the way I am is this, right? Is that around that time when I think when you came across my video, I had just hit like 100,000 or whatever. I might have been like a little over 100,000 views or something like that, right? Now, the average person, a lot of people, I'll say like this, not the average person, a lot of people will be impressed with that. Like, oh, damn, I got 100,000 views. But I'm always looking in the grand scheme of things, okay? And the grand scheme of things, 100,000 views ain't shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I cracked 200,000. A lot of people were like, oh, shit, I cracked 200,000. In the grand scheme of things, 200,000 views ain't shit, okay? I'm coming up on 300, which will probably be sometime today or tomorrow. In the grand scheme of things, 300,000 ain't shit. And the reason why I'm saying this is this, right? When it comes down to it, I'm not competing. I'm not trying to compete with niggas down the block. And I got to go into this whole psychology because this is something I literally was just talking about the other day. You know what I'm saying? And I understand it. But nonetheless, people have to get out of that mindset. I'm not competing with niggas around the block. I don't care about being the hottest in New Jersey. I don't care about being the hottest in my city, the hottest in my town, the hottest in the tri-state, the hottest on the motherfucking East Coast. I don't care about that shit. You feel me? I'm trying to be the best, you feel me, period. Or one of the best, period. Acknowledge, like, you feel me, to be like, yo, like, and like, everybody, like, this nigga is one of the nicest, like, you know what I'm saying? And period. So with that being said, you're talking about an international type of like situation. Like, you're trying to, like, if your mindset is to try to be the hottest in your town, then you're only going to stay relevant amongst people who already know who you are in your town. Like, you know what I'm saying? In your state, in your city,
exactly.
In your tri-state, okay? Exactly. So with that being said, you know, people saying, oh, I'm not paying for putting money behind ads because that's like views. I'm not paying for views. People make that statement for two different reasons. The first reason is lack of education, okay? Because for everybody who says, I'm not paying for views, you'll often find those same people will pay these fake ass promoters or there's people who claim to have connections to labels and stuff like that who you see they bring these showcases.
Or fake niggas that got a Spotify playlist that's going to get you on and all that.
Yeah. But it's just more so the hustle because I seen what was happening by somebody, you know, I used to work with. I seen what was going on because a lot of artists, what they do is they try to find, like, everybody knows, like, pursuing this or whatever is hard as hell. Unless you know somebody who got a ton of money, it's hard as hell. Like, you feel me? And the whole thing is everybody's just looking for a chance for the most part. Everybody's just looking for a shot. You know what I mean? And so what happens is that you get these dudes who put these events together and, hey, listen, I'm going to bring an A&R down from Rock Nation. I'm going to bring an A&R label executive from Atlantic, you feel me, from Warner, from Sony, from all these different labels and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And if you pay me $250 or $350 for me to perform for 8 minutes, 2 songs or whatever, you'll get a chance to perform in front of them. You never know what could happen. You could possibly get a deal. Anything can happen or whatever, right? And then people buy that shit because it's like, yo, when else am I going to be able to meet these dudes? Like, you know what I'm saying? So you're going to spend that $400, you feel me, for 8 minutes. And you might have like 20, 30 different artists, like, you know what I'm saying, that perform in front of these guys who are paid to come out there to come see you, who has no intention on signing you. And if they even did want to sign you, they probably don't even have the signing power without having to go through 2 or 3 different channels just to get approval. Like, you know what I'm saying? For them to even give you any type of a deal. Like, you know what I'm saying? And the only thing you probably going to walk away with is a bullshit ass distribution deal Like, you know what I'm saying? No advance, no push, no nothing. But, you know what I'm saying? You're going to take and sign that 2-page already pre-written agreement that everybody else can get. You could probably download that shit off the internet or whatever, just so you can feel like you're not wasting your time at that point. And it's all like mental. Like, you want to convince yourself that you're not wasting your time. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you see everybody else moving on in their life and they graduating, you know, college and starting families and, you know, getting married and might have just got like a job promotion and stuff like that. And then you still, you know, sacrificing or whatever to try to chase after something that shows no sign of real progress. You're going to start doing anything and everything that's trying to, that you know, is going to convince yourself that you're not really wasting your time so you can keep going. Mm-hmm. So you get taken advantage of easy by these guys who are having these platforms with no real true value. So when you take and open up for an established artist, let's say if somebody was like, yo, listen, I'm a rapper. If somebody was like, yo, listen, I want you to go on tour with Jay-Z. This is what they, you know, still do. It's like, all right, boom, I'm gonna put you on tour with Jay-Z. You're gonna open up for Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? Now, you're not performing in front of a packed crowd, but nonetheless, you're performing in front of a crowd who's looking to come and see Jay-Z. They bought tickets to see Jay-Z. Not the openers. They don't know who the fuck the openers are most of the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? They coming to see Jay-Z. They coming to see J. Cole. But so when you rap and you open up before the main event, what are you doing that for? You're doing it so you could possibly win over some of Jay-Z's fans, some of J. Cole's fans, some of Meek Mill's fans or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because both of y'all music might sound alike or whatever. So if they like Meek Mill's music and I know if I sound like him, they might like me too. And now I just gained some new fans because I opened up for them. Okay, so the same thing, the same concept that people take, because you're not, because 9 times out of 10, when these niggas be opening up for these artists, they don't even meet them. I know that for, like, you know what I'm saying? I've been there before. Like, you don't even meet the main artist.
You ain't
like,
never
you know what
lying.
I'm saying?
You ain't never lying,
You don't
bro.
even meet these niggas,
I've been
man.
there.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, how many times you gonna do? So to nail in the point, I mean, to bring home the point, the same concept that you take when you hop on that stage to win over people who don't know who you are is the same thing that I'm doing and any other digital advertiser does online, except for, guess what? Instead of it just being 8 minutes and one location for one night, I can be all over the fucking world or whatever, and it's playing 24/7. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm bringing those people in every goddamn day. You know what I'm saying? People from London, people from Chicago, from Detroit, from LA, from New York, from Philly, people from New Jersey, right in my own town. Why do you think you can scroll down your timeline right now or whatever? I'm on the highway. Guess what? I'm on 42. And guess what? There's a billboard, a digital billboard right there advertising something. You can take and scroll down your timeline or whatever and see sponsored under Joyner Lucas's name 20 all the damn time when he releases a new video. He's already established. He got money. You see Chris Brown sponsored. Like, you know what I'm saying? Nas sponsored on Instagram. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they're doing it, and they're already established, and they're already good. So I always ask people, what makes you think, especially if you're independent, and especially if you're still working a goddamn job, like, you know what I'm saying? And you're still trying to break into the industry, what makes you think that you're above that? You're still trying to break into the industry. These niggas been in the industry, Nas been in the industry 20 plus years, and he's still running advertising.
Exactly.
So it's the same thing. You know what I mean? You're not paying for views. You're paying for the chance to reach people across the world that you'll probably never be able to meet at one of those showcases. You know what I'm saying? At paying for a slot up at Sirius XM radio. You feel me? For paying these PR people who's just using you not really being educated as an independent artist or whatever. They'll take your money, give me a couple grand or whatever. I'm going to pitch it to Double XL. I'm going to pitch it to, you know what I'm saying, this platform. I'm going to pitch it to that platform or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And they don't even tell you if this shit is ready or not. They're like, yo, just give me the money. I'm going to pitch it to them. If they don't fuck with it, then, you know what I mean? You know, only thing I can do is just try.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That shit is crazy, man. So lack of education, and that second one, without even going all the way into it, because I'm long-winded and shit. But 1, lack of education, and 2, people would just rather spend money to buy things that will help them uphold an image that they're living a lifestyle they don't really live and can't even afford to maintain. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're just like fooling themselves and people around the way. Oh man, this nigga's really doing something. And then that's kind of like really what it is. Like, you know what I mean? It's
right.
just, it's upset. Sad.
That is 100%. I am someone who would much rather be the part than look the part. You know?
Yeah, hell yeah.
And
Absolutely.
and even what you said about like the idea, like I've never heard it be put that way, where the idea of paying for one of these slots to open up for an artist in your city or whatever the case may be. I never heard it put in a way where it correlates to digital marketing, because you're right. That is the goal that someone sets forth when they pay for those slots. I did it. We opened up as an artist. We opened up, me and my cousin. We had a group, Nature Real. We opened up for the Lots.
Okay.
We opened up for the Lots. We actually did meet them though. We met them at sound check. We met them. We said what up to them. It wasn't like we chopped it up. Niggas wasn't smoking. You know what I'm saying? They ain't smoking past no drinks and nothing. You know.
Yeah.
We came in at the end of their sound check. We said what up. We did our sound check, and then we performed that night. They didn't even come into the venue until it was their time to perform. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like that. But essentially, we had to sell all of these tickets. I remember we sold a lot of them because our friends were also fans of the Locks. But we had to sell all these tickets, and the tickets that we did not sell, we had to come out of pocket to perform on that slot. And if I could have the same knowledge today that I had, you know, and use it back then, I would have thought differently. Like you said, I could have spent that money on digital ads and reach, you know, people differently than trying to do it in one location in a room full of like 700, 800 people. When I
if you even getting that,
you know what I'm saying? So, man, that's dope. Man, that was dope. I definitely appreciate you sharing that.
For sure.
Let me see. I got a couple of quotes here that I've taken from some of your posts. One of them was, you said that you had, well, you know what? You said that you had talked with Polo from Rock Nation, and somewhere in that conversation, you had gained something that kind of changed your outlook on your music. Can you talk about what that was? What was said in that conversation?
I don't remember me saying that shit. But damn, is that still up there? 'Cause I don't remember when I said that. That's crazy.
I took it somewhere. You said Polo from Rock Nation, open your eyes to a way that you could stand out more. And you were talking about being yourself. And
Yeah. No. Okay. Yeah. I know exactly. I know what you're talking about, but I was like, I forgot I put that out there. But yeah. So okay. So yeah. So that was one of those situations. So
we don't have to talk about it if you don't want to.
No. Hell yeah. Nah. Right. So listen. So yeah, I went up there, you know, to go talk to him. Now I already knew that I wasn't going to get like no deal. That's not my purpose. That wasn't my purpose of going up there for me. Because at the end of the day, you know, I'm not saying that shopping around for deals or whatever is a bad thing. I'm not saying I wouldn't suggest it for anybody at all. You know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of artists, including myself, you know what I'm saying? It's always like seeking, like seeking the label, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's business, right? It's business. So the whole thing is that, okay, in a business relationship, just like any other relationship, a love relationship or whatever, you know what I'm saying? There's multiple parties involved. Like, you know what I'm saying? You yourself, you feel me, as, you know, the product, the artist, you know what I'm saying? And the entertainer or whatever. And then you have the corporation that you're trying to partner yourself with. Like, feel me? Like the industry, like the record labels and stuff like that. Okay. Now, essentially, most people, for the most part, you know, they want a record label. Why? You ask them, why do you want a record deal? Oh, because of money or whatever. I need money. I want the advance. You know what I'm saying? I need to be put on tour. You know what I'm saying? I need them to blow me up and shit like that, right? So you have to ask yourself, it's like, okay, well, what are they really gaining? You know what I'm saying? From partnering with you, because they can't just throw money all out in the street. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it is about who you know. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, in this day and age, when you can do so much stuff yourself, if you have the know-how, there's a lot of things you can do yourself. But it's like, when you're coming to the table, how could you really possibly have like a solid business relationship when only one party is really gaining or benefiting from the partnership, and the other one or whatever is actually just losing and taking all of the risk or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? So when I was talking to him, I basically just wanted to go up there just to make sure I was on the right path. Like, you know what I'm saying? As far as, like, okay, well, how is my outlook on the music industry today in harmony with his? Not saying that his opinion or whatever is, law or nothing like that, but for somebody who's, you know what I'm saying, in his seat, he's somebody who's in the industry, and that's exactly what it was. So him, I played a couple songs for him. And shit like that. I purposely did this. I played a song that sounded like what was going on now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the double time, you feel me, rap, a little bit of auto-tune shit or whatever, right? So, okay, yeah, fuck with that. Yo, how'd you feel about writing that? Real simple, super like play around type shit or whatever. And then I played him something that was really me. Like something that's like really me is like something like a cross between like Nas, J. Cole, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Something I'm really getting off as far as like, lyrics and stuff like that, right? And he really fucked with that. And then I played him a couple other joints or whatever, but it was a mix between what I would think people would want to hear and what I had the most fun, you know what I'm saying, making or whatever. And his whole thing was, I'm reading his reaction and shit like that. And his whole thing, like, he fucked with the shit that I did that I thought people wanted to hear, but he was really fucking with the shit that I made that was like staying true to myself. And I'm like, okay, cool. So this is so people still do want to hear, like, people like really talk about certain things or whatever. Like, some people still do want to, hear that, you know what I mean? But he says something, I don't even want to say, his name, because I know he's, going through things right now, whatever. But an artist that he signed to Rock Nation, you know what I'm saying? He was explaining to me about how he was having a hard time, or they were having a hard time, you know what I'm saying, trying to navigate, you know what I'm saying, I guess throughout the industry and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Because whatever pieces of music that they were throwing out from him or projects or whatever wasn't doing as well as they would want it to, want it to be. And to kind of make a long story short, because like I said, he's going through like, legal stuff right now, whatever. So I'm not trying to like really, make it seem like I'm talking bad about, even though I didn't say it or whatever. It's just, what I basically learned from him is this, bro. If you stay true to who you are, for me, this is basically, because he told me this shit without actually saying it or whatever. But it's like, if you stay true to who you are and you master that sound, like, you know what I'm saying? If you package things up the right way, you can sell it, you feel me, really to anybody. The first person who ever taught me that or whatever was a guy named Stephen Dent, right? He was a managing director up at Daddy's House for a while. Daddy's House recording studio up in New York. He also, sound engineer, recording engineer, Life After Death, did the whole damn album and shit like that. You know what I mean? All the Bad Boy classics and stuff like that. He was the first person to tell me, like, you have to look at yourself like a product. Like, you know what I'm saying? What's the best way that you can, sell the product? You are the product. You know what I'm saying? And and then when he started talking to me like in that way, it started taking me out of the mindset of like, niggas just got to hear me. As soon as they hear me, like they're going to fuck with it or whatever. And it's like, I'm dope or whatever. I'm nice. So when people hear me, they're just going to want to fuck with it. This is a business. You can be nice, but that's not enough. Being nice isn't enough. Being hot isn't enough, because everybody's hot. It's a lot of niggas that's hot. Like, you know what I'm saying? But is the idea of who you are translated clear, like, you know what I'm saying, to everybody? That's what's important. Like, you know what I'm saying, you got to figure that shit out. I mean, and that also just comes with time too. A lot of the stuff you're not going to figure out from the very beginning. You know what I'm saying? You have to give yourself time to do that shit, man. So yeah, man, he really, amongst a few others, really just like stripped the naivety, you feel me, away from me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because many other situations too, but it also just showed me that, you got to get yourself hot, because he made a comment and he told me about a time to where he found out that somebody had sold out the TLA, an artist or whatever, sold out the TLA, and Philadelphia. Everybody who's in the Jersey, Philly area knows what the TLA is and shit like that. Famous performance venue. And when he found that out, he sent people down there to go get him, to bring him up, you feel me, to the label. Because all that shows was that whoever that person was had shit moving. So it wasn't going to be a whole bunch of like, oh, we got to figure out what we're going to do with them. How are we going to, you know what I'm saying? How much money is it going to cost to really like get this thing moving and get the machine moving or whatever. He already had shit moving already. You feel me? So that just showed me, okay, well, shit, I just got to get it moving on my own. You know what I'm saying? So if I push my video, which is where a lot of people is getting discovered that now anyway, and that's the first thing that he went to was my YouTube. It's like, okay, well, boom. Shit, if I blow my YouTube shit up, you know what I'm saying, to a couple million or something like that, follow up with another one, do the same thing or whatever, it's going to come across, somebody's going to see it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Jens was saying, like everything that you're looking to get, work without having like the label in mind. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just worry about getting to the people. You know what I'm saying? Because when they see the people reacting to your shit, that's going to be confirmation. Okay, there's something here.
And that's it for part 1. Tune in next week for part 2.